Silly me.
No, run it, and it was in my pocket, and it went,
2.5 years.
I know, Battle of the Hudson.
We had like 5 or 5 hours by like with like we had like 5 with like 10 minutes like you said or something. Sure.
Watch my mouth.
Yeah, right there.
Watch as a hog.
Make that shared. Yeah,
I have to sit. I legally have to sit behind that Sparks and make them put my quarter.
Contract.
It's in his contract. You know.
Second best play. Anything come to mind? Adam Sparks.
What?
What was the second best play of the game?
Fumble recovery. Got a turnover. Yeah, you got a turnover. But I was in the bathroom with the tight ends coach. He was taking a leak at the urinal. Turnover.
That's how Adam Sparks.
Oh, the Squirrel. Squirrel had like an 18-yard catch. Remember that? He's like, hey, who's there? Give it 30 more times. I'd say it's Campbell's kick and all the momentum you had at halftime with that.
I just want to see who they're going to play.
Different angles of that one.
Oscar Del Draw.
That was a third. That was a third down stop.
Oh, Ray was.
I like number 3, the reverse cycle.
It's very embarrassing. I think I took the Aggies. Oh.
I did too. Smart move. He's the one who's saying, like, if you try to do shit. Perhaps a tiny bit of vitamin.
All right, welcome to Coach Heupel's post-game press conference. Coach will make an opening statement, and then we will go into questions. Just raise your hand, and I will call on you.
Been a lot of good ball played by the Orange in that stadium for a while. Tonight, that was certainly not it. Give Georgia a ton of credit. They're a really good football team, and you know, have been for a while. You know, just end of the day, early in the football game, third downs were a huge part of it. They were able to convert. We weren't able to convert on any of our third down situations. You know, after the initial run by us, we had a little bit of efficiency, but couldn't sustain drives. And when I say efficiency in the run game, but weren't able to sustain anything. They were able to make plays, stay on the field, convert third downs, and score points. Like that we were able to get something out of the 2-minute drive at the end of the half. But you know, defense starts fast in the third quarter. Offense isn't able to put anything together. Just disappointing. Offensively, third downs, you know, 2 of 11, you're not going to win. You look at their conversion rate, that's how you win. So disappointing. We got to regroup. We're banged up. You guys saw that before the game, during the game. This game doesn't care about it. We got to come ready to play next Saturday.
Questions? Eric, we'll start with you.
Josh, you mentioned the third down struggles. Defensively, what was Georgia doing to cause issues on those third downs that they were running and passing?
You're talking about from them offensively? A lot of it was in the pass game. At the end of the day, I said it going into it, there's going to be one-on-one situations. They made plays in those one-on-one situations, and that can be protection. That can be giving the quarterback time. It can be making plays out on the perimeter. End of the day, we didn't do those things. You know what I mean? And you know, those plays, those conversions give you the ability to get to the next play. And you know, they were able to do that. We weren't.
Questions? Rob?
Coach, can you just, I guess, address how, using this game as a measuring stick for where you were 2 years ago and still maybe how far you have to go and you're starting to walk on, you know, on defense? I mean, what does it say about the steps?
Yeah, we still got to continue to take steps. You know, that's, you know, in what we're doing as a program, it's our personnel, the depth of our program. All those things to continue to, you know, climb the ranks inside of this league. That's a really good football team. You know what I mean? What they've done over the last couple of years is special, and we got ways to go.
David?
Josh, can you just talk about, in the 4 losses y'all have had, when other teams go on runs, it's just been difficult for y'all to is there a common thread or a common theme?
I don't think there is just one common thread. I thought in this one, our guys continued to compete. Like, I'm going to just speak from the offensive side of it. Being able to sustain and make the competitive play in this one, you know what I mean? I felt like this is different than early in the year when we were at Florida. End of the day, as a program, you got to find a way to be good enough on a Saturday afternoon, you know, and that's everybody, from me to assistants to everybody that suits up and goes out there and plays ball.
Paige, then Adam.
Was your all's inability to find rhythm on offense more of a you guys thing or what Georgia was showing you?
A little bit different structure than not every down. Anticipated some of it. Their personnel and us managing and being efficient in what we're doing. And then the third downs, you know, a lot of that was man-to-man and being able to protect it, be able to get it off, being able to go win in a one-on-one situation. We're doing some things to try to give them, you know, some space, to create some space for them to win. And end of the day, you got to be good enough to go make plays.
Josh, everybody's trying to figure out how to close the gap with that program. Yeah. You mentioned depth. Do you do that through stacking recruiting classes? Do you do it through the portal? How do you manage to close the gap personnel-wise?
Well, I think it's a combination of all of those things. You know, as we started, obviously, year one, we were way down on number of scholarships. You know, we've gotten closer to 85. You're trying to develop some young guys from within. I think that's important. You know, they've done that. They've added, you know, through the portal too, but a lot of it's been, you know, kids inside of their program. So we got to continue to develop and recruit.
Does it make it more difficult, the fact that year two, you are so close to closing that gap? Does that make the challenge any different?
I don't think it makes the challenge any different. You know, we've played good football. We haven't played it for 4 quarters every Saturday afternoon. And in our losses, that has shown up. Not taking anything away from them. They're a really good football team. You know, today was not our best football. And this, I said it earlier, this game doesn't care. There's no asterisks. You know what I'm saying? Like, next man's got to be up and got to go play at a championship level.
You said a couple times that this game doesn't care that the guys are banged up, but when you don't have both starting tackles available to start the game, you're down 2 starting receivers. How much more difficult does that make finding rhythm in the pass game with kind of all those sliding pieces there?
Well, it's different than if you have those guys, but at the end of the day, like, you got to line up and the 11 got to go play against their 11, and we got to find a way to go win in the run game, in the pass game, like all of it. And you know, we didn't do a good enough job today as an offensive unit, and I'm including coaches in that too.
How concerning is that offensive line situation now? A couple more guys go down today. Don't know what it is. But
yeah, we'll know more. Yeah, we're thin. If you got any eligibility, let me know. Okay.
Josh, 2 back-to-back tough losses, obviously, and imagine the season hasn't gone the way that you all wanted it to.
Yeah, not how anybody wanted it to or what they worked for it to as well, you know.
How confident are you that they'll regroup and still be ready to kind of attack the week coming up to?
You don't like the scoreboard, you know what I mean? But our guys continued to play out there. They continued to compete. And wasn't good enough, you know what I'm saying? But they continued to play hard. So this is a resilient group. They're a prideful group.
Mike and David.
Yeah, Josh, with Nico, was there any thought of him going into the 4th quarter, and is the fact that he's at 3 games and in the final game an indication that redshirt is the plan for him?
Well, at this point, just because there's only one regular season, you know, I mean, there's a lot of variables that are taking place outside on that field today and what type of situation you want to put him in.
Josh, obviously Georgia's going for a 3rd straight national championship. How does you face them now 3 times? How is this team? Is this team every bit as strong as the past 2? Are they? How's this team maybe different from others?
This team's continue to get better throughout the course of the season. I don't know how many first-round draft picks they'll have. They're still big, long, athletic, physical, play with great fundamentals, technique. Like, it's a good football team. To do what they've done, you have to be a good team.
Patrick.
Josh, you obviously had explosive, high-scoring offenses throughout your coaching tenure.
Yeah.
This has not been one for the season. I think you guys.
It's been a long time since we've looked at the scoreboards the way we have this year.
I think you guys are going to be around 20 points a game in SEC games. How frustrating has that been for you, being that it's so out of character for what?
Yeah, really disappointing that we haven't found a way to, you know, put more points on the board and help this football team win.
Paige.
Whatever inefficiencies you all saw on defense against Missouri seems to have been addressed in that first half against Georgia. How would you assess the level of effort from the defense from the first half to the second half?
Yeah, throughout the course of the game, I thought they were physical. They played hard. Did a better job for a majority of the night of tackling. You know, that was something that hurt us. Still let the quarterback out early in the football game to make some plays with his feet on 3rd down that, you know, sustained some drives for them.
Joe, last question.
Josh, obviously a lot of programs in this league are chasing them and Alabama. When it comes to recruiting, how much is just the years of the success, championships, guys going to the pros that they both have, how hard is that to contend with? How big of a part of the pie is that?
Some of it, for sure, but I actually, some of the success that we've had on the field, but also like what our guys have done as far as going on to the NFL and the development inside of our program has been big, and recruits recognize that too. So that needs to be something that helps us as we continue to go recruit at a high level.
Thank you, Coach.
Appreciate it. Y'all have a good night.
Well played, short.
All right, everyone, we've got Jaylen Wright and Joe Milton here. Please raise your hands for questions, and I will call on you. Start with David and go to Ken.
Jaylen, did you know that was going to be the first call of the game? And if so, when did you know it, and did you think you could pop it for 75 in the touchdown?
Yeah, I knew it was the first call about 2 days ago. But, I just trust my lineman. Thank God for, having it like that. Trust my lineman, hit the scene, and, the thing was just not to get caught, so.
Jaylen, what changed after that play that maybe didn't allow you all to continue to find success on the ground?
I just feel like they were really good up front. That's something obvious. Really good at front. We just got to do a great job, better job of sustaining blocks, just creating movement.
Eric Kane.
Joe, what was Georgia doing to make things difficult for you guys on third downs, or maybe what were you guys not doing to execute on third downs?
They didn't do anything different that we prepared for. Two-man, 4-star, cover one. You saw what happened on the first cover one. He hit it through the middle, so they got out of that. Other than that, man, you just got to execute as an offense. You got to keep going. When the momentum's that high, especially in your stadium, you just got to keep going. You got to keep rolling. You got to swing no matter what.
Joe, both tackles were out tonight. Spraggs goes down. You've already lost 2 wide receivers. What is it like trying to operate the offense when you've got 2s and 3s coming in?
The same thing I preach in practice. Everybody has to take a rep, no matter who's in. Your starting 5 going, your backups, and your backups. You have to be able to understand what's the intent of the play and what we're trying to do with this.
Anything else for these guys, Wes?
Joe, with some of the moving pieces, obviously, a couple of guys at receiver have gone out, a couple of offensive tackles have gone out, a lot of new pieces there in the passing game. Has that made it more difficult to find rhythm at the end of the day?
No, whoever's in the game got to be able to execute no matter what. You on a scholarship to come here and play football, so that's what you got to do.
Yeah, and this can be for either one of you. Just can you talk a little bit about how you refocus and get ready, for essentially the end of the regular season next week?
Yeah, I feel like you just got to go in tomorrow, learn from your mistakes. Same thing you do every week, just learn from your mistakes and just go out there the next week and try to operate at your highest level. No matter what, no matter who's out there, you got to be able to operate. The more hard work you put in, the more you'll get out of it. So the more that we go in there with the mindset that how bad do we really want it, Monday practice or Tuesday practice, you got to go in there, you got to attack the day, and then you just got to go execute at the end of the day, no matter what. No problem. Thank you.
Kind of going off that, Joe, you guys have talked about putting together 4 consistent quarters for quite a few weeks now. Can you identify anything that you guys are doing either in the prep or in the midst of the game when you do that compared to the games when you don't?
I don't think there's no game that you don't. I think there's just some times where, as an offense or as a team, you have to be able to just operate no matter what. I feel like when it comes down to playing 4 full quarters, you have to be able to say F the scoreboard and just go no matter what. If you don't, then when you start looking at the scoreboard, that's when the game can creep up on you.
David?
Jaylen, you've played at Georgia since you've been here, obviously, and they put so many defensive players in the NFL. How does this defense that you face today compare to the other Georgia defenses that you face?
I mean, they all similar. They fly around. They're disciplined, very disciplined, very good up front. Great back end, great DBs. It's just Georgia. I mean, I was expecting them to come play how they played today.
Anything else? Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think pretty much once we got October 15th, the response was
Still waiting on Beasley and Squirrel.
So it's 13-0? Over at that shit?
Alabama is 3-4.
Retweeted it. And one of those three the Mercer in that neutral summer game.
They lost Austin Peay.
That's who they had on Tuesday.
North Alabama.
Yes.
So we'll wrap up tonight's player availability with Aaron Beasley and Squirrel White. Please raise your hand for questions. I'll call on everybody for questions. So who wants to get started? Wes?
Aaron, I guess for the second week in a row, third downs were a little bit of a struggle on defense. What was it just getting them in the third manageable, or was it just kind of breakdowns? What did you see on their third down success there?
Yeah, we just, I guess you could say breakdowns. We just weren't winning our one-on-ones. I feel like we weren't, matching our routes and the zone coverages. Just weren't executing.
Adam?
Aaron, you played Georgia a few times now, best team in college football, but their personnel's different. Is Georgia team seem better than the ones you played before, about the same? How do they compare?
I say that as far as like talent goes, I feel like they've had a little more talent in the past. But what you see out of them is that they, a very sound team, very fundamentally sound, and they play as a team. So I feel like that's the one common thing I've seen from these past years of them.
Ben?
Squirrel, just tonight with the passing game, just couldn't seem to find any consistency or rhythm. Just what do you feel led to that tonight?
Just not executing. We should have came out and executed more in the pass game.
Eric?
Squirrel, kind of on that third downs were an issue tonight. What were some of the things that Georgia was doing to maybe was enabling you guys from picking up some third downs?
They ain't do nothing. They just play man on third downs. We just ain't execute.
Ben?
Aaron, obviously the season hasn't gone the way that y'all want it to, and back-to-back tough losses. How confident are you that the team, even going into this last week of the regular season, is still going to be kind of connected and engaged and ready to go next Saturday?
Yeah, man, I feel like we'll be ready to go. I feel like, everybody on this team, most of everybody, love the game of football. So, next week we get another opportunity to play football. So I feel like, we're going to do just that, go out there and play ball.
Well, Squirrel, every year is kind of its own thing, but 1 year after having, one of the most prolific offenses, I guess, in college football in this program's history, certainly, it's been different this year. It's been kind of up and down. How is that, to be a part of that, has it been frustrating, like kind of on a week-to-week basis, not knowing exactly what you might get after you had so much success last season as a team?
Yeah, it can get frustrating, but at the end of the day, you just gotta just flush it and go out there and ball.
Vince?
Aaron, obviously leadership is easier to do when things are going well. Can you give some examples of leadership that you've seen from your guys and your leaders when things haven't gone well and it's been tough recently?
Yeah, I think, what I've seen from them is just their way of, uplifting everybody, trying to keep everybody into the game, when things aren't really going our way. It's real easy to just check out of the game. I feel like our leaders do a good job of trying to keep everybody into the game. That's what I've seen from them.
Well, Paige and then Patrick.
Aaron, how would you all evaluate how you all bounce back from Missouri when it comes to tackling and making pre-snap adjustments and all of that communication that happens before the play takes off?
I think we got a little better this week. I feel like our urgency was a little better. Our communication was definitely a little better. Still definitely work on our tackling. Personally, I didn't tackle well tonight, so that's always a room of improvement.
Patrick?
Aaron, you guys have been in each of your 4 losses. There's been the other team's gone on long runs. I think it was 24 straight for Georgia Day, I think. And boy, how have you guys not been able to kind of slow the momentum for the other team? And is there a similar theme from each of those 4 games that's maybe been the reason why?
What was your question again?
Each of y'all's 4 losses this season, the other team's gone on long scoring runs, scored a bunch of points in a row against you guys, and had the momentum, and you guys haven't been able to get it back. Why do you think that's been the case?
I honestly couldn't give you a definite answer. Just went their way, I guess. I couldn't tell you honestly.
Anything else for these guys? All right, thanks everybody. Thanks, everyone.
That's good.